This is the Folding Scythe from Tier 1 Gear Reviews, Justin at Tier 1 Gear Reviews. If you don't subscribe to his channel, do so. You will be very happy you did. He's got an amazing collection, great taste in knives, and he designs knives. He has sent me a whole bunch of knives over the years to check out, and then most recently, before this one, a prototype, he sent me a number of his scythes, fixed blade scythes made by Old Squirrel Knives, I believe, out of Ohio, I believe. And then the sheaths were made by another maker, a sheath maker who did kydex and leather. Beautiful stuff. And no doubt pricey. And he wanted to make something that was affordable to everyone and easy to stash and just a last-ditch, yet stylish self-defense weapon. And a folding Pikal style knife, which is a rarity in the market still. I have a couple here I'll show in a sec. But this design, that's kind of an odd shape if your eye isn't used to it. And it's based off the fruit knife, like this Victorinox, which has been customized a la Ed Calderon. Melted this handle, bent it, put a little finger notch there for indexing. And Pikal style knives have the tip down, feature the tip down and the edge in. Of course, you can use it any way you want, but this is the intended way to use this in a self-defense situation, taking advantage of your caveman mode, your gross motor motions, and the arcing motions that your elbow and shoulder and wrist make when you're just flailing, basically. Like a cat with one of these, the tip is going in and pulling, as opposed to a karambit where you have the blade facing forward and you're doing this motion, which is, not very natural if you're not trained in karambit. There is a lot to learn if you want to learn how to use a karambit properly, and it is a real skill set, and it's something that is very cool. I've done a little bit of karambit stuff in my collie over the years, but to me, it was never quite intuitive. Maybe I didn't train enough. But these were made popular, this sort of Pikal style knife with the tip down and the edge in and the outward reaching blade to accommodate that arcing motion. It was made famous by Ed Calderon's Elvia. This one is done by Copus Blade Works, and I had, or Copus Designs they're called, I'm sorry. And I had Bright for War do that wrap. It's so beautiful. Check out Bright for War Knives also on YouTube. He does great stuff. But this is the Elvia by Ed Calderon. You see that sort of outward reaching, tip down, edge in blade style. And it's used a lot in Libre fighting and in and it's sort of a plug-and-play design. If you can grip something in your hand and move your arms, you can do a lot of damage. You don't need to have much in the way of skill, but that is not to diminish the training that people who do Libre fighting do. I mean, they take it to the next level, of course. But the idea behind these knives are you're in caveman mode, you're defending yourself, and you just need to survive, and you just need that threat to stop. This is a nasty way of doing it. And these have been popular for a few years, and then folding ones started to arrive. Not too many of them. You have the Emerson, and you have the Inversion by Dirk Pinkerton and Kaiser. Both knives set up for that Pikal style, though both very handy as EDC knives. This one has an aftermarket aftermarket handle and a wave opener. So this is the competition for the two knives I was just showing you. Those two knives, the Kaiser and the Emerson, are not inexpensive at all. They're $200 plus. This Tier 1, Justin from Tier 1 Gear Reviews, is bringing this out for 60 to 70 bucks. So the idea behind this knife is a low-cost, high-value, super well-made, beautifully designed, small and stashable Pikal-style folder that's not going to break the bank. And I would say he achieved that in spades. I think this is beautiful. As a matter of fact, I like it better than his fixed blade custom versions, though those were beautifully made. Nothing against those knives, but this sings to me. You know, this is something I could see always dropping in the pocket, no matter what other knife I have, just to have there for that, you know, terrible situation where you might actually need a self-defense knife. Now, he sends a letter saying, well, this is a prototype. It's made by Shieldon knives, and I've had a few Shieldons come through here, and they've been nice, but this takes the cake. I think they do, if this is any evidence, they do great OEM work. You see nested liners in that polished micarta. Really fantastic action, especially for such a light blade. It's not relying on weight. It's just, you know, it's got that smoothness. But let's see, he's going to make some changes to this. Cage ceramic liners, nested stainless black micarta, 154 cm blade steel, one of my favorite blade steels. I love it. There's the Tier 1 logo. Scythe. Folding Scythe. Very cool. So he is going to put a wire clip on this, and you know, I'm sure a couple of changes will be made, but this is the one that he mentioned here. I don't know what else he would have to do to this, but I guess that's it. Just the clip. The only thing I would do to this is figure out a way to wave it out of my pocket, but that would kind of mar that beautiful design. And that action is really good, and the handle is small enough that changing the orientation of your grip isn't that difficult at all. It's very small, and so it's, you know, even with medium-sized hands like I have, you can easily manipulate it and turn it in your hand when you pull it out like that. So I like this grind, beautiful long swedge. That tip, if I had this for any length of time, I'm sure I'd drop it on the floor and snap that off, but that is a beautiful tip. That's gonna just be going into anything you're gonna try and put that into. What I really like about this is how small it is. The Emerson Elvia is a pretty small knife. The Inversion is a pretty small knife, but by comparison, this is, you know, way smaller, and you get just about as much blade as the Elvia, but in a smaller overall package. I mean, that thing, you know, you could easily walk around with that opened, though that's probably pretty dangerous. But if you needed to, you know, do that thing where you walk up and then whoosh, pull it out and you got the knife, for whatever reason you might have to do that, this would be great for that. He says something funny here. He says, ultimately, it's not just something that's meant to be small and lightweight, fast and super concealable, but it will get you out of a pinch. Make no mistake, though it's a dangerous little bastard, I definitely wouldn't want to be on the business end of it. And yeah, I say no doubt to that. What I really like about this is that he's filling a niche in the market that needs more competition like this. It needs competition that's less expensive, high design, very nice execution in Shieldon's build here, and something that we can all pretty much afford at 60 or 70 bucks, or if we can't afford it, we can, you know, quickly or somewhat quickly and easily save up for it, right? I have a feeling that putting that wire clip on it is going to add to the to how easily manipulated it is, manipulatable it is in hand, because there will be a void, you know, between both sides of the wire clip that your finger can sink into and give you that good rotation like that. Let me show this with a karambit. I think that this is not as efficient. And of course, I know karambit guys are going to say, oh, well, that's not just what you do with a karambit. I know there's a lot of really cool stuff you can do with karambit. And if you're good at it, it's beautiful to watch someone skilled with a karambit training and doing techniques. But it does take an awful lot of training, I would say, to do anything more than this. You got to learn how to use it. And I feel like the whole Pikal thing is way more intuitive. Just hold it in your hand and, you know, do some hammer fisting with it. oh, that didn't sound right, but do hammer fists with it, and you get the idea. You don't need much more. But also, and I know he's not marketing this, he won't be marketing this as an EDC, but I actually think that these Pikal style knives make for really good EDC blades. I mean, opening up a package with this would be no sweat. I did mention that tip is pretty refined, so you might want to be careful with the EDC chores you choose for this. And maybe some of these other knives that I've shown are a little more robust on that end, but for the purpose of self-defense, you cannot beat a point that acute. Kind of put it against something that, yeah, look at that. Really cool. Justin of Tier 1 Gear Reviews. Definitely go to Tier 1 and check it out on YouTube. Check him out. Check out his collection, his videos, and check him out on Instagram too. 154 cm. Very, very cool. Here, one last comparison with a paramilitary 2. You can see how small that thing is. And here it is with an RSK Mark 1, a 3-incher. And yeah, this is a pretty small knife, at least by my standards, which makes this a little big knife. This is one of those little knives that punches way out of its weight class with that severe blade style. Beautifully done, Justin. I'm so happy that you sent this to me to check out. Thank you very much. I will get this along to the next lucky guy or gal who gets to check this out. Probably a guy. Let's just be real. And I look forward to this coming out. This is one that I will definitely add to my collection, especially of folding Pikal style knives. Beautifully done. Get this out of the way and leave you with this final impression of this beautiful knife. Prototype by Shieldon. Folding Scythe by Justin of Tier 1 Gear Reviews. Thanks for watching.